Fans of indie games are likely no stranger to Don't Nod Entertainment, the developers of indie classics like Life is Strange, as well as some interesting but less popular titles like Vampire, Tell Me Why, or Remember Me. Their output hasn't always been consistent, with games varying from absolutely unmissable to passably decent, but I've always respected their desire to tell unique stories from different perspectives. Their latest project is Harmony, the Fall of Reverie, and I've gotten a chance to get some hands-on time with the Steam version of the game to see how it's shaping up. Harmony is different from Don't Nod's typical fare in that it strips away many of the fundamental gameplay elements from its other story-focused titles. Rather than taking place from a third-person perspective and leaving the world open to explore, Harmony settles for a more compact scope in the form of a visual novel, albeit with a unique plot device that gives your decisions a tangible sense of structure. Harmony is primarily centered in the fictional Mediterranean city of Athena. You play as Polly, who returns home from an extended stay abroad to find that her mother, Ursula, has gone missing, and a mysterious corporation known as 𝐸𝐸𝐼𝐸𝐸, or MK, has exerted a disturbing level of power over the populace. While Harmony appears generally separate from the Life is Strange universe, there is one key similarity. Polly has a gift connecting her to a realm called Reverie, a land where humanity's aspirations are personified into physical beings who beg her for help restoring balance between their world and Polly's. Now, that's the really short SparkNotes version of the story's premise, and I dare not go much further for two reasons. One being not to deprive you of the experience yourself, and the other being that Harmony's world is so mysterious that even by the end of my demo, I still wasn't totally sure if my points of confusion were intended or a consequence of the game's dense lore. There were also scenes that seemed a bit contrived, but it's hard to tell if there's broader context I'm missing from later in the story, of course. I was certainly intrigued, but am also hoping that things come together in due time. Those who appreciate a good lore dump will be in heaven here, though. With each new character or location comes an entry in your log filled with details and context to pore over and better understand Polly's world. What helps here is that the writing in both the lore entries and dialogue is exceptionally good. In the case of in-game dialogue, the voice actors also do a tremendous job of bringing their characters to life and making them feel authentic and believable. Visually, while each scene takes place in a gently animated but mostly static backdrop, they're all beautiful without exception. Each area of Athena looks straight out of a colorful painting with vibrant architecture reminding me of Italy's Cinque Terre or sleepy seaside towns under the stars. Reverie has its own unique look, sometimes evoking a calmer version of Neon White's heavenly landscapes if they had been slowly reclaimed by nature. The music is also absolutely lovely and does a great job of setting a tranquil but slightly ominous mood. And although this was just an extended demo, the game runs excellently on Steam Deck already. If you're a fan of Don't Nod's other work, you might be wondering if there's much gameplay here, which is a valid question if you're not a fan of visual novels. Though the experience of playing Harmony is far more story-focused than any of Don't Nod's other titles, some player agency emerges in the form of the Augural. Like much of the game's lingo, it's unclear what the Augural is until you see it, but practically speaking, it's a kind of decision tree where each node is a story beat. No decisions are made in the visual novel sequences themselves, rather they're made in the form of which node you choose to interact with, which will often lock out the opposing node and possibly future ones as well. This starts simple at first, with a couple branching decisions with clear impacts later in the act. But before long, it unfolds into a tapestry of story paths and different types of ways to traverse through each branch. Some nodes are inevitable, and thus required to move the story forward. Sometimes you'll see a collection of 3, and you have to pick 2 of them. And some nodes give you items to collect, and only by getting enough of a certain type associated with a particular aspiration can you unlock a scene or path. This might sound like any other branching storyline with extra steps, and to some degree it is. But I was intrigued by the structure of it. Most games with branching stories give you decisions to make, but not much information about the ultimate result. However, Harmony deliberately allows you to see a bit into the future in a way that gives you the gist of what path you might want to take without fully spoiling it. And while traversing the Augural seems a bit more convoluted than necessary sometimes, I'm certainly curious as to how it evolves in the full release. It's hard to determine from the first few hours of a decision-based visual novel how the ultimate product will turn out. A lot hinges on its pacing, where the various decisions take you, and if the multitude of questions raised by this mysterious world are ever answered. But so far, Harmony looks like a gem in the making. It's intriguing and gorgeous, with excellent acting and thoughtful writing that gives me faith in Don't Nod's ability to do this world justice, and we'll find out if they do soon enough. Harmony, the Fall of Reverie, is currently slated for a June 2023 release window on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch, and you can try a demo of it for yourself beginning May 4th as part of Steam's Ludo Naricon event.
Fine. I'll explore the future.
Yeah, and have fun with it.
I'll be around, listening, chiming in, unless I'm in the middle of a game, of course.
Of course.
Thank you so much for supporting clickbait-free independent content here on YouTube. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe to help us bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. And be sure to check out patreon.com/IDreamOfIndieGames, where we can together defeat the gaming echo chamber.